Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Good afternoon. Hello, how is everybody? Episode 68 of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney Perry. How the heck are ya? What has been keeping me up? What's been making me where I can't sleep or feel like I need to sleep with one eye open and giving me panic attacks lately? Man, that's a loaded question. Well, specifically, a couple of things. One, I absolutely, I've noticed in the heat, I just wanted to kind of give a disclaimer out there to everybody out there that owns a pet, that owns dogs. Remember, dog paw pads are not shoes, not shoes. So if it's hot outside and it's too hot for your hand or your own feet to be walking on the ground, it's too hot for your dog's feet. It's too hot for your dog's paw pads to be on the ground. I keep seeing people walking their dogs in this heat and it hurts their paw pads. It quite literally burns their paw pads. I know I've talked about that in past episodes, but in case you're just tuning in, I didn't know this for the longest time. I'm not knocking people. I'm not putting anybody down that didn't know it. It's genuinely something a lot of people don't know. If it's too hot for your own feet, it's way too hot for a dog's paw pad. So please, 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 please do not walk your dogs out in the heat. Also, right now I'm currently having to try to find a home for someone that has abandoned their dog at our kennel. And we are not a humane society. We are a kennel, a boarding facility. And someone abandoned their dog. And he's a husky. He's the most amazing husky. He doesn't act like a husky. By that, I mean, he doesn't try to escape. He doesn't try to dig out, or he doesn't try to jump fences. He's smart. He's sweet. And unfortunately, it's very hard to find a home for dogs in general, let alone a husky. So I just kind of want to remind people, we've been seeing a lot of people getting German shepherds and getting huskies and getting Australian shepherds and border collies and heelers and dogs that may not fit their lifestyle. You know, maybe St. Bernards, maybe Great Pyrenees, maybe pit bulls. I've said this again in many episodes. I'm a huge advocate for people doing their research on breeds of dogs. If you do not have the lifestyle for a working dog, please do not get a working dog. They almost always wind up in shelters or euthanized. And that is not fair. Just because you think a dog is adorable does not mean you need to get it. There are plenty of adorable dogs out there that fit your lifestyle. Get a pug. Get a King Charles. Get like a Basset Hound. If you want a dog that doesn't do a lot, if you want a dog that doesn't need a lot of exercise, all dogs need exercise, but there's different levels and different types of exercise that dogs need. Please, please, please keep in mind the amount of exercise you yourself are willing to give a dog. Mental and or physical. There are dogs that need more mental and physical energy than other breeds of dogs. So please keep where you live. Do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a fenced yard? Do you live in the country? Are you active? Are you home very often? Are you gone a lot? Please keep these things in mind. Don't just get a dog because they're cute. And please, for the love of God, to all of you backyard breeders out there or breeders in general, stop. I'm so against dog breeding. I don't care if you're a backyard dog breeder. I don't care if you're the most upstanding, clean, wonderful dog breeder. We don't need more dogs. We have thousands of dogs that are being euthanized every day because people get dogs and discard them like it's garbage, like they're nothing, like they have no value. They don't even care. We do not need more puppies in the world. We don't need more puppies. Dogs do not need to be having puppies. Dogs need to be fixed. Just like Bob Barker used to say, have your pet spayed or neutered. We do not need, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of dogs being euthanized every single day. Those dogs need homes. We do not need more puppies. We don't. It's disgusting to me. It is so gross to me that people breed dogs and sell puppies. I think it's shitty to do to the dog. And especially when you have them get pregnant more than once, it's not good for their body. It takes a toll on their body. And we don't need more puppies. So please stop getting puppies and go adopt a dog that could desperately use your health. Save it from being euthanized. There are so many dogs out there that people disregard and toss to the side. And also, when it comes to dog food, you don't have to buy top of the line dog food. You don't have to break the bank. But please, please, please be diligent about sticking with one type of dog food. Don't feed your dog different types of dog food. It's not good for them. They can't process it. They can't break it down in their tummy. And it will give them diarrhea. It can get them sick. If you're going to get cheap dog food, then just feed them that specific brand all the time. I highly suggest people spending a little bit more money on food because in the long run, it'll save you money. It'll save you money to spend a little more. It'll save you in vet bills. It'll save you in antibiotics. It'll save you in your dog not processing it well. If you get really, really cheap dog foods, the kinds that are really colored, like have green and reds, your dog food should not be orange and red and green unless it's an apple or a carrot or fruit, actual real fruit or actual real vegetables. But dry dog food should not be brightly colored. That's chemicals, it's dye, it are things that's not good for your dog. And in the long run, that'll cost you more money. It'll cost you more money because your dog will get sick and you will have to spend more to be able to feed them. With just spending a little bit more in dog food, you will have to feed them less. So it'll last longer and they won't get as sick. So you won't have to bring them to the vet. Just wanted to get those out of the way. I'm not trying to be condescending or belittling at all. A lot of people don't know that. I get that not everybody can afford expensive dog food. I'm not saying break the bank on dog food at all. Just if you're going to buy cheap stuff, please stick with that one brand and feed your dog consistently with that brand. Because once you keep changing brands of dog food and keep changing what they're eating, it's very bad for their system. So just a little bit of a tip for you. At any rate, what else has been on my mind? Well, it was funny. The other day, I was looking at my elbow and I started playing with my weenus. Yes, folks, you heard me right, with my weenus, not to be confused with anything else. Get your mind out of the gutter. And I started thinking, hey, why does the skin on your elbow have a special name? Why isn't it just your elbow? And then there's skin covering your elbow. So it's skin and the skin on your elbow. Like the skin on my knee. Isn't that just called a knee? It's just my knee. And then the skin is skin. So I looked it up and I was wrong. I stand corrected. Don't say you didn't learn anything listening to this podcast, folks. I'm about to blow your mind. Maybe you already know this. But let's see here. The skin around the loose skin around your knee is actually called nickels. Ninkles. K-N-I-N-K-L-E-S. Is that ninkles? It says ninkles are simply wrinkles that form on or around the knees over time. These wrinkles may also be accomplished by loose excess skin. So I thought that the weenus was special. I was like, hey, why does the weenus get all the action? Why is there a special term for loose skin around your elbow, but not a special term for loose skin around your knee or around your foot or your belly or your ankle? But I guess there are, because wait, there's more. I'm going to enlighten you again in case you didn't know any of this. Wait for it. The loose skin around your belly, other than a muffin top, is called the penis. So we have the weenus, the ninkles, and the penis. Because the penis is an apron of skin that hangs down over the stomach, legs, and genitals following a massive weight loss. And if you get that skin removed, it's called a panniculectomy. paniculectomy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but point is, the loose skin that hangs down over the stomach, legs, or genitals is called the penis. The loose skin around your elbow, weenus. The loose skin around your knee, ninkles. There you go. See, I'm a very informative podcast. We learn new things every day. Don't say I didn't teach you something, right? Anyway, I started just thinking in general about loose skin and about people out there that have worked so hard to lose weight, and then they have that excess skin. So then they're like, well, God, I worked so hard. I worked my butt off to lose all of this weight. And now I still have all this excess skin, and how frustrating that probably is, and how I feel really bad for people that didn't, have bypass surgery. They did it on their own, and now they still have to deal with loose skin. And how frustrating that must be, because I'm sitting here as someone that has never been exceptionally overweight. I've been maybe 30 pounds overweight at my heaviest, maybe 40 pounds at the most overweight at my very heaviest. And so I did not have to deal with that loose skin. But I do have to deal with a little bit of stretch marks for like when I was pregnant and stuff. And I just started thinking about the difference between men and women and how we carry our weight, how hard or easy it is for people to lose weight. And then that started getting me thinking of today's society and how we are now not allowed we should never be allowed to fat shame. Shaming anybody, shaming people, no matter what, is not good. And fat shaming is obviously not good. That's terrible. But I started thinking about how our country is now trying to promote obesity. America is already obese as shit. We're obese as fuck. We have more food. We have so much food that we just we just shove it in our faces, and then we waste a bunch of food. We make more food than we need, and we waste a crap ton of it while they're starving people that have nothing. We eat so much that we're fat and obese and disgusting, and then we complain and say, I don't know why I'm fat. I don't know why I'm obese. Well, because you aren't eating healthy and you are not exercising. And then there's people out there who say, well, it's not my fault. I have a disease. No, no, no. I've asked several doctors. I have done extensive research, and there is about 1.5% of the population, 1.5, that has an actual legitimate medical reason that makes it extraordinarily difficult for them to lose weight. 1.5% of obese people have an actual legitimate, for real medical condition that makes it very difficult for them to lose weight. All the rest, it may be hard for them to lose weight. Yes. It may take a little extra work than certain people that are half your age, or maybe a different gender, or maybe we're blessed with better genetics. Sure. Some people are blessed with better genetics. Some people are younger, therefore they lose it faster. Some people are men, so maybe they lose it faster. But it's not impossible. It's not a medical condition that you have that you're overweight. It's because you eat too much. You have too much food that is going in, and you are not putting out enough exercise. So right now, though, it's okay to be body positive, as far as I don't think people should think that because you're overweight that you're a terrible person, or that you should have a bad body image in that you think that you're worthless. I don't think that obese people should feel that they're worthless or that they don't deserve to live, and I don't want obese people to be, hating themselves and thinking that they're ugly. But obese people or overweight people do need to be conscientious of the fact that when you're overweight, you're going to have a high risk of heart attack, high blood pressure, diabetes. You have actual medical conditions that can kill you or pose huge problems in your life when you're overweight. And the fact that we are now promoting people to be overweight And if a doctor, God forbid, tells someone now that they're overweight or they are obese, that doctor is now somehow a bad person, somehow contributing to depression and stress and is putting overweight people down. No, they're doing what a doctor is supposed to do, which is to inform you of what being overweight can do to your body. Like, killing you. Like, death. Don't go around as you are sitting around eating Doritos and watching TV going, I just don't know why, as you're shoveling food into your mouth, wondering why you're fat. You're fat because you made the choice to not work hard enough. Yes, like I said, there are other people that don't have to work as hard to lose weight, myself included. I admit I was blessed with a couple of things. One, when I got 30 pounds overweight, I hated it. I didn't like it. So I immediately was like, wow, I'm not going to let myself get 31 pounds overweight. I'm going to do something about it. So I was blessed with drive and blessed with drive to be able to make a change. I wanted to make the change. I made the decision and I followed through. Also, I've always been incredibly active. I didn't just get this way because I'm not active. I got this way because I work at it. I am extraordinarily active. I am not a lazy person. So I've earned this. Part of it is genetics, but that's a very small part of it because a lot of my family has suffered with diabetes or heart issues and has been overweight. I just made that choice seeing people in my family with those conditions and going, I don't want that for myself. And what I don't like is now if you're skinny, you're some asshole, apparently. I used to get all the time, man, it must be nice to be skinny. What, are you anorexic? What, are you a drug addict? What if I were anorexic? What if I were a drug addict? What if I were bulimic? Those are all diseases. Those are mental and physical diseases. And if you're an addict, you don't make fun of an addict. You don't make fun of someone with bulimia or that's anorexic. They have terrible self-esteem and they have something mentally wrong with them. And it's not something for someone else to scoff at because they're overweight. And why is it that I'm not skinny because I've worked out my whole life, or because I've never been one to eat unhealthy? If I eat, well, correction, there are times I eat things that are not great for me. There are definitely times I eat things that are not great for me, certainly. However, most of the time, if I eat things that aren't great for me, you know what I do? I turn around and I exercise more because I'm like, crap, I just ate a bunch of bad things. So now I need to make up for that. So I need to not be as lazy. I need to burn off those calories. I need to burn off that fat. And everything is in moderation. If I have something that's unhealthy, I don't have 10 things that are unhealthy. I don't have 8 things that are unhealthy. I have 1 or 2 things that are unhealthy. And then I balance it. So I get tired. It's just as shitty for an overweight person to turn around to a skinny person and go, it must be nice to be skinny. What are you, an addict? What are you? No, it is great. It is great to be thin. It must suck that you decided to make the conscientious decision to not eat the way you should and not exercise the way you should. And again, if you do eat healthy and you do exercise and you still struggle with weight, I'm sorry. That sucks genuinely. But again, not a medical condition. It just means, unfortunately, your life is harder than others and it's harder for you to lose weight. Medical conditions that prevent you from losing weight are very rare. And it is incredibly weird to me that we are promoting, again, it's like I said, we're promoting children dying by late abortions, by approving abortions, especially ones that are after the fetus, after the baby. The baby has been born. They are trying to make it legal to kill, to murder a baby after it has been given, after a mom has given birth. So we're also somehow against sex trafficking. Somehow we're trying to pretend like sex trafficking doesn't exist and it's a conspiracy theory. We're also allowing children to mutilate their bodies. We're also not educating them. And now on top of it, we're saying, hey, go ahead and be obese. Do you not see what's happening? Our government is wanting us to be fat and uneducated, or to simply not exist by trying to make us take vaccinations that are now proving to have all kinds of medical conditions that are not good for us. They're trying to just wipe us off the planet, this lovely government, and people are still standing by Joe Biden. I say let Darwin take you all over then. Let Darwin take over these idiots that are allowing crime and looting and shooting and not wanting people to have guns to be able to protect themselves, and that are allowing abortions, and that are allowing vaccinations that can kill us, and are allowing people to be obese, and are allowing children being sex trafficked, and allowing children to mutilate themselves. Do you see a pattern? Our government's trying to kill us. And the fact that you think that's okay, maybe then you should all move together in one spot. And yeah, let Darwin just kind of sort it all out. Frankly, that's where I'm at right now. I have just turned into a very bitter person, I guess. I'm not seeing a lot of good things going on in our country right now. I'm seeing a lot of promoting of like we're trying to get rid of humans. And then we're sitting here talking about climate change and how climate change somehow is affecting our crops and stuff. No, what's affecting our crops is the fact that we keep tilling them and tilling them and tilling them to the point that now our soil has lost all nutrients. You have to dig so deep now to till up our land that when we plant our vegetables and stuff, we have to eat something like 8 apples now to equal when back in the day when our crops and our soil were still good and still had nutrients in it, we could eat 1 or 2 apples. Now we have to eat like triple the amount of vegetables and fruits to be able to get the vitamins needed because our soil is so bad right now. Because we're also now getting rid of farmland and building skyscrapers and building, apartment complexes. We're getting rid of our soil. We don't need to be worried about climate change. We need to be worried about the fact that we don't have a lot of land left. We're running out of land. We're running out of places to plant crops. We're running out of good soil. We should be focusing on this. Just got a phone call. Sorry. We should be focused on that kind of stuff. And instead, we're sitting here promoting people mutilating children and promoting obesity. This world's gotten backwards. Like I said, it's just crazy. Anyway, I've also noticed that people are trying to claim that there aren't any jobs available. There are many jobs available. Nobody wants to work on them, and beggars can't be choosers. The homeless is getting out of control. It's like we live in some zombie apocalypse. It's crazy. I don't know. How's it going in your neck of the woods? What's going on in your country? Compared to America, how do you feel your country is going? Switzerland, Zimbabwe, Ireland, Scotland, I don't know. What do you guys, compared to America, what do you think? Mexico. We have so many people coming through the border. It's frightening. What are we going to do now? Where are we putting all of these people? We need to be securing our borders. We need to have military at our borders right now. And I'm sorry, this sounds terrible, but if you make it very clear, if you cross this line, we will shoot. If you cross this line into this country illegally, we will shoot to kill. I'm sorry, that's what we need to do. You say to people, this is illegal. This is our country. You cannot come into it unless you do so legally through the proper channels. You may not come over to this country, period, end of story. If you do, we will shoot to kill. You make the choice. If you decide, knowing the consequences, that you're going to risk it, that is exactly that, a risk. You take the risk of being shot. Just like if you were in prison and you tried to escape, they're like, we will shoot your ass. Just like if you try to break into someone's home and you try to harm their family and they say, don't take another step forward, I will shoot you. Then you take a step forward. Guess what? You get shot and it's your fault. We cannot. I don't care. You guys are going to go, oh my God, she's for shooting innocent people. You're not innocent. You are not innocent if you were illegally trying to come to this country knowing full well the consequences. Then you are not innocent anymore. You are not innocent when you decide to rob a bank and you get caught or you get shot. If you know the consequences and you still decide to do it, you are not innocent. We are not allowed to just tootle into other countries and get the full benefits, to get free driver's license, free health care, free houses, free food, free everything. Where else can you do that? It's crazy. We should have military at the borders with just a big old line of guns faced at all of our borders. Anybody. I'm not talking about just Mexico. I'm talking even Canada. I'm even talking about Canada. If you come here illegally and we sit there and say you may not come into this country illegally to live, I'm not talking about visiting, but to live. If you put one foot across this border illegally, I'm shooting your foot. So just don't put your foot across. Don't be like the kid that's like, I'm not touching you. No. And what the hell is going on with the Biden administration? Yet they are going after Trump nonstop to get the eye off the ball. Those of you that still believe to this day that Biden has done nothing wrong and that he does not have dementia, again, I hope that Darwin sorts this all out. If you do not have the brain capacity, if you don't have the brain capacity to look at Biden and half of his staff and realize that they have dementia or they have not 100% going up there, then you yourself don't have 100%. You're not playing with a full deck yourself. And maybe you should all just have a really big party at some memory care facility and live life. I mean that in the best way. Joe Biden should genuinely be living it up in a memory care facility. And if you still think that he is 100% okay, doesn't have anything medically wrong with him at all, that he's running with a full tank of gas, you have something wrong with you. You need to be evaluated yourself. I'm sorry. It's the truth. If you feel that mutilating children and that obesity is okay, there's something wrong with you. If you feel that MAPS, minor attracted people, are okay, there's something wrong with you. It's not the rest of the world. If you feel that giving birth to a child and being able to kill that child is okay, there's something wrong with you. Listen to what you're saying for a bit. Listen to what you're on board with. It's bizarre to me that you have to even bring this up to people and people are still fighting for these things. Again, no one had a problem with drag queens. No one had a problem. I mean, there's always going to be someone that has a problem with something because no matter how perfect you think the world is, you're never, ever, ever going to get the entire world to love all gay people, to love all transgender, to love all drag queens, to love all black people, Asian people, to love all Muslims and Christians and Catholics, to love all men, to love all women. There's always going to be haters, always. And you're never going to be able to fix that. But no one had a problem. Most people did not have a problem with any of those things I mentioned until it was forced upon them. Forced. No one likes to be forced. Once people started forcing vaccinations and forcing penises lying all over our faces in front of children and forcing things in our schools and taking away our constitutional rights and taking away our parental rights. That is when people started getting pissed off, rightfully so. And those of you out there that act like you're okay with it, I bet you $1 million behind closed doors you're not. I bet you $1 million behind closed doors you are not okay with it. You're just a chicken shit and a follower. And that makes you weak. And weak people, again, I hope that Darwin takes over. Maybe that's why there's hurricanes and tornadoes and sinkholes. I kind of wish a sinkhole would just suck up California or an earthquake, something. Take Portland down with you. Take these democratic freaking states or cities that think it's okay to mooch off of everybody while they sit back and reap the rewards and then bitch because now they're like, oh my God, there's a lot of crime. Oh my God, housing is so expensive. I can't live on my own. You did this to yourself. Live with it. Ugh, I can't even get started. Oh, I'm tapping my third eye 21 times and trying to calm down. I feel that all my episodes are just bitching and bitching. And man, again, like I said on my episode 66, when there's a lot going on in the world and it directly affects you, it's hard not to complain about it, right? Greece, I ask you, how's your country going? Russia, China, how are your countries going? Korea, North and South, how are your countries going? Australia, England, how are your countries going? How do you feel your countries are ran in comparison to America right now? Better? Worse? Same? How do you feel that the people running your countries are doing? Are you happy with how your countries are being ran? Truly, not where, when no one's looking, when no one's around, when you think no one can hear you. What do you actually say about your country? I love this country. I love America. I do not love what is going on in America right this moment. I do not love what the people of this country and this administration has drug our country through and what's happened to it right now, but I still love our country. I very much love America. And I think that we have more to offer than what has happened to it right now. It's a shame that so many people are trying to drag such a good country that used to be so powerful. Now we are just going to be preyed upon by other countries like Russia and China. We are looked at like we are these little gnats that just can be flicked. When you have someone running our country that is feeble, that makes us look weak, and that is scary. And no one seems to be scared. And those out there, again, that look at Biden and think, wow, what a well-spoken person. When he talks, I'm captivated. I listen. I understand everything he's saying, and he's just so well-spoken, and he makes so much sense. If you think that, you need to go get a CAT scan right now. Please, please, I implore you, go out and get your brain checked. I'm sorry, but you need to be told this. You genuinely need to go get your brain checked. If you look at our president and see someone that's 100% capable. But again, I look at other countries and I think there's other countries that have some things going on that we could learn from. And then I think, well, God, at least we're not as. My son keeps calling me, so I'm going to wrap this up because all I'm doing is bitching anyways. But hey, I want you to look at your country and see the pros and cons. I want you to look at your neighbors and yourself and see the pros and cons. And think, what can I do? What can I do about this country? What can I do about me? What can I do about my job? I ask myself that every day. What is a solution? I said that in episode 66, and this is kind of just I guess, more lengthier version of my rant in episode 66. But I started out on a good note talking about weenuses, right? I'm like a kid, you said weenus, But it just got me thinking of body positivity and how you should love yourself and you should think that you're beautiful inside and out if you are. If you're not, then I'm sorry. Don't look at yourself as a beautiful person if you're not taking care of yourself and your inside is ugly. If you're a bad person and you do nothing to contribute to society, you don't work, you don't help, you don't volunteer, you're entitled, you're not a good person. And if you're also obese and you're a bad person, you're unhealthy physically and mentally. I'm sorry, but I'm sick and tired of people filling people with praises. If you did not win a game, you're not a winner. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It just means you lost the game. And that's okay if you lose a game. But it doesn't mean you get a participation award. It means try better, try harder, work harder, do more. If you are overweight, it means try better, work harder, do more, be better. If you are nasty on the inside, it means try harder, work harder, do better, do more. You should not be proud of those things. You should not be proud of being a poor sport. You should not be proud of getting a participation award that you didn't earn. You should not be proud of affirmative action and getting a job just because of your race or your gender. Don't be proud of those things. Those are not things to be proud of. You should be working for something. You should be working at being a good person. And if you're not a good person, you should not look at yourself in the mirror every day and go, wow, I'm doing what I can. No, you're not. Are you volunteering? Are you helping anybody other than yourself? Are you coming up with solutions? Are you working? Are you paying your way? Or are you just riding the coattails of others and then complaining and bitching? I'm tired of everyone being told they're great and wonderful the way they are if they're not. If you're not working and you're lazy and you're not helping and you're doing nothing to contribute to society and you're not coming up with solutions or volunteering or doing anything whatsoever, you're not a good person. I'm sorry, but you're not. And someone needs to tell you that. Oh my God, who's here? Someone needs to slap you and tell you not everything is hunky dory. Not everyone's a winner. Not everyone is great. Sometimes you suck and you need to be told that. Sometimes you need reality. Sometimes you need a reality check and a smack upside the face and someone to squirt you with a bottle and go, no, do more, do better, try harder. Including myself. I'm saying this of myself. I can't sit around and boo-hoo all the time. It's okay to boo-hoo for a second. It's okay to go, oh. And then eventually you need to pick yourself up and go, wow, what am I doing for others? Stop complaining about what someone isn't doing for you. Stop complaining about what others need to do for you. Stop complaining about other people needing to change. What have you changed recently? What have you done recently? All right, I'm going to wrap this up because my son keeps calling. So anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much.